Good day, welcome back to Khmer Green. 2023 growing season is long gone, so it should be time to do fig wrapped up. Last season, it was my first time start growing figs. My tree was very new and very young. So any variety that bear fruit at its first season, it would make the list. But for this season, my tree get more mature, so the stake could be higher. I will divide it into three categories. First, a huge variety. It will use fruit around 100 grams or up. Second group, it's gonna be my absolute favorite, definitely keeper variety. And the last is a surprise variety. So first, let's start with the huge variety. In this category, I have three trees. One, Super Jumbo DK. It consistently produces large fruit, around 100 or 100 grams and up. Some of them go up even around 150 grams. So that's a huge fig. And for the flavor wise, it's nothing too crazy about it. Just like sweet and melon is. So basically, you eat a sweet watermelon. The skin, it looks really good. It's very thin, but it holding up onto a rain quite well. It's not as bad as the other two. So this one, it hold up in the rain. If you live in a hot, humid climate like mine, and you want a light fruit variety, this is one to consider. But just like any other large fruits, it takes quite a bit to ripe, and it sometimes it may be challenging to get it perfectly ripe. But if you can get them ripe early in the seasons, it was a very good fig. Now move on to Golden Rainbow. This variety is another large producer. It consistently produces around 100 grams, at least for my tree. And it's supposed to taste very sweet and melon taste. But my tree, it tends to overwater, so I don't really get that much of the sweetness. It usually quite watered down. So for this variety, it's very similar to yellow long neck, if not the same. Even long yellow, whatever the other few variety that people try to claim. Some group claim that they are different. There's some other group they are the same. Whatever there is, if you have one of those, you don't have to bother to get one of these. For the last one in this category is an unknown variety. I've been calling it unknown giant California because mother tree is from California. It produces large fruits. It's a honey types. Also, it's very refreshing. For the downside, it's a large fig, so it takes quite a long time to ripe. So it's quite difficult sometimes to get this fruit properly ripe here in New York, because this summer it's quite rainy season. It's one after another, so it's quite challenging, and it can be split easily too when it gets a lot of rain. Now moving on to the next category, my favorite variety. So first thing first, BNR, Borisot Negra Ramada, is still on the list. Last season, it's my absolute favorite. This season, it's still on my favorite, but it's not as much because I have only 3 fruit this season. And one of those is kind of good because when it was ripening, it got rain and it's not good ripeness. So it's not fair to judge this variety, but I still have all the good stuff, right? It have the look, it have the taste, but it just the season, it just destroyed this variety this season. Next variety is very obvious. Definitely Black Madeira. This is the queen of the figs. I love this variety, especially if you can get them caprified. Just look at the picture. It's just beautiful. Red interior, jammy, berry flavor, oozing with all those honey. It's just a really excellent fix. And many people, they complain, this variety is so late. For my tree, it's not that late. I get my first ripe fruits around August. I'm not sure, mid-August or late August, but I remember it was August. That one like a kind of weird with the Black Madeira. It have one fruit ripe fairly early, and a few like 2 or 3 weeks later, then you start to have the rest of the fruit start to ripe. But if it keep doing this, I don't think Black Madeira any that late at all. It's quite an excellent variety. On top of that, some people, they complain it's very difficult. It kind of splits. I have no issue with my tree. I don't know. It does split here and there when it gets too much rain, but in general, it does fairly well. I don't know my tree specifically or because how I water them, I tend to overwater my tree. That's why when it get rain, it doesn't affect that much. I have no ideas, but I grow in pot and just like that. No trouble, no issue at all. It give them fertilizer, so definitely a keeper this variety. For the next variety is very similar to Black Madeira. It's I258. So this is really neck and neck in terms of flavor, performance. So this is another great variety, really top of the line. If I have to choose between Black Madeira or I258, I would choose both of them, because why would I have to choose one when I can have both of it? So this is definitely a keeper. I like it a lot because it's really good. It has fairly large or thick Syconium outside, but the pulp is really meaty, really syrupy and an intense berry flavor. It's really great. And the size of the fruit also like a medium to large. That's also a plus. And fairly easy to grow. It's for my tree, I don't know why again. It's not split too bad and it ripe really well. It doesn't take too long like some of the other large variety that I named earlier, but it takes a fair amount. But if you have like a hot season, when you get them ripe in the hot of the summer, it's fairly quick to ripe. One downside is when it late in the season, it's not as sweet as when it's hot in the season. And on top of it, I like this variety because it produces Breva. So Breva is not the best rice, but I like it. Some people say they don't grow for Breva. It's inferior crops. Let me ask you one simple question. Between inferior fruits and no fruit, which one would you choose? I tell you, I would choose inferior one rather than no fruits. So that is definitely another keeper. If you don't have yet, definitely give this a try. Now move on to another variety that bear the name Madeira. This time around is White Madeira number 1. This is quite a very low-key variety because it has been around for a while, so it's not a hot new cake like a new rare variety anymore, but it's still an excellent variety. It has a beautiful pulp. This is strawberry flavor looking pulp. Contrast really well with the green skin. This is also a keeper. On top of it, it ripe its fruit late in the season fairly well. So even the nighttime get cooled down, it still ripe its fruit very well. You still have a lot of flavor in the fruits. So this is a very good one, despite kind of slightly on the later side. Now move on to another variety, or should I say varieties, because this is the whole group of those varieties that I really enjoy this season. They are the Cododon family. I have Cododon Blanc, Cododon Noir, Cododon Roja, Gigantina, Ramada, you name it. Any of those long neck fruits, those definitely you should give it a try. I really enjoy Cododon Blanc. It's really a classic one. But the best flavor of all was the Cododon Noir here. And especially if you get it perfectly ripe, it's just like icing on the cakes. It's just thick and rich in flavor. It's really a premium variety. But again, all the variety that I named above, it's really a while around in the community, so it doesn't get as much attention as like a new hot cakes variety on the blogs. But regardless, if you want to try growing figs, definitely give them a try. It's really really excellent in terms of taste. But they also are challenging, so just like any other good premium variety, it's usually on the later side, and the Cododon family is no exception. But for Cododon Blanc, it ripe its fruit fairly well late in the season. When the temperature cools down, it still doesn't matter, but it just takes slightly longer, maybe a bit longer to ripe compared to if you have the heat to ripe them. Moving away from the berry type a little bit, going to Campaniris. The variety is more of the honey type, maybe berry-ish. It doesn't have the strong berry flavor like a Cododon family or Black Madeira, but it's slightly berry or more of the melon size. and it's very sweet. So this is like a honey type, but on the high end quality of the honey type, because look at the pulp, it's much better than simple honey type. This variety is also very early, so I get it first ripe fruit like early August, so quite early. Consider this quality of the fruits, it really an excellent one. And on top of it, it's quite productive, probably one of the most productive, if not the most one. And when it ripes, it quite a quick, very short window of ripeness. So it's one of the crucial elements if we live in a hot, humid climate. If it ripes fast, it can be avoid rains. Let's move on to another variety. Come back to the berry types, because usually they have great flavor with the berry types. This is Desert Warmigrons. This variety at its first season, last season, I love it. It just has some of the best flavor, but the downside, it was a very late variety, and also it very stingy producer. At first season, only 2 fruits, and one of those splits, so it's nothing much to talk about it. But this season, it very productive and one of the best also. It's really nice, berry flavor, jammy, thick. It's just top of the lines, but for my specific tree, it's struggling to get it to a perfect ripeness. This is still underripe, and it still look that good already. When I pick it, it still has sap running. Definitely, I would call it underripe. But this is really high quality, and also vigor. And this season, it start to pick up the production. It's one of the trees really productive. Moving on, this variety is a definite keeper. This is my favorite. I love these varieties. It's jammy, it's nice berry flavors, it also sweet. It's on par with Caprify Black Madeira or a Codedom, one of those top tier variety. It's definitely a keeper for sure. If I still growing fig or I'm still gardening in general, I will have to have one of these because it's just so good. I love it so much, this one. It's productive, so it bear fruits almost every single note. Even some note produce 2 fruit in double notes. So it's definitely a keeper. On top of it, it produces stunning Breva. If you say Breva fruits not that good, well, wait and try one of my favorite Brevas. It would change your mind. For the ripening time frames, this about a mid to late variety. So I get my first ripe fruit mid-August, and it continue ripening all of the fruit all the way to the frost. But one of the downside is when it doesn't ripe that well. When it's temperature cooling down later in the season, it start to split, and also it doesn't handle rain that well. Probably I'm growing in pot or whatever the reason. My experience, it's a bit challenging when it has rain. Otherwise, definitely another great fix and definitely a keeper. Alright, I have 3 more variety in this category, so let's get going. The next one is Socorro Blacks. Socorro Black is definitely another keeper. It's just a great performer considered the reputation it gets. It's really an underdog. To my opinion, not many people pay enough attention to this variety. It's really a great variety. At first season, it bear 1 fruit, I believe. It hold on 1 fruit, and the pulp, it look really promising. And it is in this season, it just shocked me. It's really jammy, really delicious. It's more the syrupy, like less of the jammy, but more syrupy, and a nice berry flavor, and also very sweet. And it's a very productive tree also. It just load with the fruits. For another variety, also an underdog variety, is a Violet Day Solis. I acquired this variety fairly cheap. I think like 20 bucks plus shipping, like 30-40 bucks, and it's a 4x9 pot tree, so it's really affordable with the variety that produce such great fruits. It's a commercial fig, well known in France, and a medium to large. For the flavors, it really really good. It's not the best, but it very good. It have nice berry flavor, jammy inside, and sweet also. It doesn't produce any flavor, at least my tree. I'm not sure what about the other tree. And it's fairly common, so you likely to find very affordable if you want to acquire this variety. One of the downside is it takes a very long time to ripe because the fruit very firm. It takes quite a while to get really soft up to this point. So to be clear, this is the only fruit that I got to this quality. The rest it not as good as this one, but it's the very good fruits. And for the splittings, I'm not so sure. I don't really pay my attention with this variety on the splitting issue, but I don't think I have much trouble regardless of splitting. But I do remember it take a bit longer than the rest of the variety here to ripe its fruits. Alright, now move on to the last favorite variety. What can it be? It skip all those variety and I keep it for last, must be that the best, and it may be shock you. It's a Violet de Bordeaux. Yes, this variety is overall favorite this season. What? Now let me explain why I like this variety and it's my overall pick. First, very productive. It loaded with fruits. And the flavor of the fruits, not the best. It's a very good, sweet berry, nice, right? But look at this, it's a jammy. Yes, it has all those cool stuff that the higher end variety have, right? On top of it, it produces amazing brevas. It's loaded with it. A plus when you have a breva that much. So this variety is really great at producing brevas. It's not as good as main crop. You can just look at the main crop picture here. That's when you let it dry out on the tree. It's just another level. If you pick it too early, it's an okay variety, not that great. But if you let it dry, it's just another level. And for the brevas, it's not as good, right? But it's fairly close. It's very jammy and sweet and berry. And I believe I have breva ripe about in like July. So some of the high-end variety is still not even put out figlet yet, and we already can eat some fig from this variety. That is another win. And on top of it, this variety is a very cheap variety to get. I say cheap, I mean I pay $20 with free shipping. One of the tree, two of the tree. Actually, I have 3 trees, so 2 I get 1 for $20, 2 of them $40. But this specific tree that I'm showing, I got from a tissue culture. It's like $6-7. So it's really a no-brainer for any new grower to start to get one of these. The real reason that Violet de Bordeaux has become my most favorite, my biggest winner this season. So this is what I really enjoy it. Alright, we close now. Now move on to the last category, the surprise variety. So I put in the surprise variety because I like the fruits, but I don't have much of it. Usually 1 or 2, and it's really weird. So let me just go through one of the variety at a time. First is a Montagne Verde. So for this variety, just the opposite side of the Violet de Bordeaux, right? The Violet de Bordeaux cheap, but what it can provide you is way above. It's like a punch above its weight. So very cheap, huge production, huge outcome. But Montagne Verde, I got it. This is my more expensive tree, and I expect a lot from this variety. But the first season and early in the season, it really disappointing. It's not bad, but as I say, it's expensive. I expect a lot. But later in the season, it shocked me because when I taste one in the hot and summer times, it's not really that good. Maybe it's not properly ripe. That was the reasons. But regardless, whatever, I just don't like much of the fruit. I expect more. But later in the season, it start to cool down a little bit the temperature. It start to change color a lot. It like more of the Pondé Trésor look. It's more of a purple-ish. So this is just when it get cool, it turn this color, but also the flavor is like a more jammy, it's more berry flavor and also much sweeter. So it really a surprise on how it act, how it do. So this is because it late in the season. I have a few of it, I eat off the camera and I give a lot of update on this variety because it really changing, fluctuate a lot. Unlike the rest of the variety that I showed you earlier, it's fairly the opposite. Like hot in the season, it's good. Late in the season, usually it go back down, right? But this one, this season, hot in the season, like a low. Late in the season, it go high. So it really something that I have to look into next season and have to be need more time to share this variety. But overall, it's really good. It's quite productive. The tree kind of slow to grow. I don't know why, but overall, I do like this variety. But it's just not really worth that price tag. But again, I will not judge this variety just yet, and I'm not gonna give up on this variety just yet because it's still young, or it's just error on my side. That's why it doesn't go to its full potential. So I'm really looking for this variety in the next seasons. For the next variety in this category is Jolie Noir. This is another shocker. There's two fruit and way late in the season already, and I thought it won't ripe on time, but I just leave it alone, don't do anything. But to my surprise, it's very late in the season, like October I think, and I have it fruit ripe. But because it's late in the season, it's not gonna be good, right? It's not a fully ripe, just ripe enough to be tasted. So to my surprise, it's a little bit soft, but it's very jammy, berry flavor, and also very sweet. So that really shocked me. Considered many of the fruit or all of the tree already give up on ripening already, or was split open already. But this variety, it just hold up like nothing and still ripe fruit. That was a shocker. But again, because I don't have much experience with this variety just yet, so I will put in this category and only looking forward for the next season. Finally, we move on to the last variety in this category is Black Cedar. This is another shocker. I have this tree like 2 years already, but at first year it was a crafted tree. It doesn't do that good, and then I uncrafted that back in its own roots, and then only this season I repot it again, and it finally bear fruit for me. It has 3 fruits. 2 of them not probably ripe, it kind of half ripe and one other to drop. But this one, when it fell, I thought, no, it's not gonna be work out, right? But it just keep swelling and it turned soft. So I pick it up and cut open. Another disappointment. Just look at how it looks. But don't be fooled. At the look, almost want to throw it away. But when you bite into it, I don't know where it comes from. All the juiciness, all the jamminess and sweetness, berryness, it's all coming out of like a nowhere. A really shocker of the variety with this one, and I'm really looking forward for the next season with this variety again. So finally, we're done with all the list, right? But wait, there's more. One more thing. What it can be? So this is Salib. It's a male fig. So all the list that I give you earlier, they all female produce edible fruits, and all of those it can set fruits without any pollination, which means you just grow it, set it alone. When it bear fruits, it's going to ripe for you. But for this variety, Salib is a male fig, which means their job is only produce fruit that carry pollen to pollinate the female figs. So to pollinate here, we have to do hand pollination. Unlike in some pocket of California or Mediterranean, there's a fig wall that it carry pollen from male to female. But here we do hand pollinate, and this is my go-to variety because it produces huge figs and reliable pollen to do a pollination. And also it's a well-known persistent males. So if you want to breed figs, this is one of the choice that you need to use it. And if you need the pollen to just pollinate your female fig, common fig, to improve its flavor and size, this is also a good choice to look at it. So to be clear, recap again, this only grow for pollen, not for fruit to eat. If you wonder when I talk about Caprify, if you're not familiar, that's it. I use pollen from one of the fruit here when it arrived, right? And then make the solution like 2% sugar and some water, and then I gonna mix it up and check into female fruits. That's what it is. But if you just new to figs, you don't have to think about this yet. Maybe later you understand more about figs, maybe you can step up your game. And if you want to start do some hand pollination, definitely recommend it. It's fairly easy. You can find all the information on YouTube right here, right? Okay, so that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed the list and maybe help you decide in some way. And that being said, whatever you do, good luck and enjoy. I see you next video. Bye bye.